Now, I would love to welcome to the show for the second time our brand new resident physiotherapist. Indira, welcome back.
Thank you, Gabby. Nice to be here again.
Good. Now, Indira, the biggest reason people go to see you as a professional are problems stemming from the back, like poor posture, is that correct?
Poor posture, chronic low back pain, neck pain, headaches, shoulder pain, the list goes on.
Okay, well, they are all real problems. Now, what is the importance of good posture, which we all should probably do, but not many of us actually really realise what it does for us?
Exactly. So good posture, especially in sitting, means that you're sitting nice and upright, but not too straight. So you should have a gentle curve in your spine. Your shoulders should be nice and relaxed and legs hip width apart.
Okay.
Your arms gently placed here or here, whatever's easy for you. And the importance of that is not only so to make you look good externally, but also for the internal functioning of your body. So functioning of internal organs. It also makes sure that your spine is aligned so that your muscles can work effectively and efficiently throughout the day without causing or minimising injuries such as strains and sprains.
Right. So how much more as a population are we actually sitting these days?
Well, earlier you said 6 to 8 hours, is that correct? That's the average human, but statistics of Australia were actually worse. So Australians sit about on average 10 hours per day.
Wow, that's a lot of sitting.
Yes.
That's a lot of, perhaps incorrect posture and perhaps, not doing the right thing by your body so that when you do get up and out of that chair, you really can, I suppose, feel like you have been 10 hours, right?
Exactly.
So, what are the side effects of being in the wrong chair or the wrong, could be lounge chair, the wrong dining chair, that could be the wrong study chair or work chair? What is it doing to us? What are the side effects?
So the side effects would be a lot of fatigue. So if I'm sitting in the wrong chair, obviously I'm slouching this way, or you see people do these ones. What happens is, because my spine is not aligned efficiently, the muscles around it start compensating.
Oh.
So when they compensate, they're actually working harder. And they're not doing, so the muscles that are supposed to be doing the job are not doing the job.
Right.
And so you get a weak core, you increase fatigue. You also, because you're in a wrong chair, you're also always fidgeting around. So you lose concentration, especially for those that are doing the long distance driving or doing the work from home nowadays or the homeschooling. You're wasting a lot of time fidgeting around, trying to be comfortable, and also that decreases your productivity. You also mentioned earlier poor circulation and also weight gain. So that's a big problem that we know that research shows that people that lead sedentary lifestyles increase weight gain and also increase the risk of cardiovascular disease.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, so we did mention 10 hours a day, and if we do the maths, on average, an office worker would be sitting for 80,000 hours in their whole lifetime.
80,000 hours, that is a lot of sitting, right?
Yeah.
But what about the body aches when you said you see people fidgeting and trying to get comfortable? Can we get bad body aches from sitting in the wrong chair?
Absolutely. Because say for example, sitting in the wrong chair, I can give you an example of if I've got a mobile phone in my back pocket. If I'm sitting with a mobile phone on the back pocket, see how my body's already sideways.
Yeah.
So what happens if I'm sitting incorrectly, I can cause structural deformities.
Wow.
So like if I'm going like this, say if I'm on a laptop, I can cause a poke neck posture, which is called a kyphosis, or sometimes I'm like that. So I can increase the curvature in my lower back. So a lot of people complain of that low back pain. And also if I'm sitting like that, I get that side bend, which is also called a scoliosis.
Right.
So that is a huge problem that can be prevented if you are sitting correctly or in a proper chair.
Incredible that prevention is always better than a cure. But if we are not using the glutes and the legs, can those muscles become weaker over time?
Absolutely. And especially if we're sitting down, I mean, we can offset the hours of sitting in the chair by doing regular exercise, but let's face it, who actually gets up every 90 minutes to move? And with the legs that you mentioned, blood, there's a lot of flow to the tissues that is incorrect. So the blood flow to the back of your knees decreases by 50%, and that can cause a chance of you getting a DVT, which is a deep vein thrombosis occurring. So that's a big issue happening right there.
That is a big issue happening right there. So by having the correct posture, I mean, we're hearing it from the expert, it really will help alleviate possible issues that you could have. But can I show you the patented dual seat? Now, having a look at the seat part where your bottom sits all day looks really, let me turn it to the camera. This looks quite different to a regular office chair. Now, this is patented technology, and it's just one of the patents to Hara. Now, can I ask you, Indira, what is the benefit that you can see as an expert in having this dual seat function? What will that do?
So like I said, if you have a single base, that won't evenly distribute your weight. So that means the load on your spine won't be evenly distributed. So that means your lower back might be taking on the load, or depending on how your postural deformity might form, you might be taking a lot of stress and strain on your neck.
Right.
What the dual seat does, because you'll notice that a lot of us, when we're standing or sitting, we favour one side.
Right.
So we'd actually be able to tell how much we're balanced and adjust ourselves accordingly.
Okay, so that means that obviously that's why it's a patented design technology. Now, turning the seat on its side, we can see the profile of this is such a different profile to all other office chairs that I've ever seen. Have a look at the lumbar support here. Have a look at the shape of the design. Can you tell me, how does the lumbar support and this design functionality help our body?
So like you mentioned earlier, a lot of people spend a lot of money on getting their tables. So we see a lot of patients that come in for a lot of traction. So with the lumbar support and being able to bend backwards, it gives you that spinal stretch that you're unable to get. And with that lumbar support, like I said, those that have the increased lumbar curvature, that gives them that extra comfort.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I know just by sitting in this, it certainly feels like I'm being incredibly well supported. It's like I'm sitting in a little bit of a hug, which is lovely. But the best bit for me is the stretch of the spine. Now, those tables that help invert and those other devices where people are kind of trying to do that stretching of the spine, they're very good for you, but they are quite expensive. Tell me, are you impressed with this chair and how it's able to give you that beautiful supported stretch, comfortably supported stretch of the spine? Are you impressed by what's happening to my spine here?
Absolutely. And like I said, when you're in pain and ache and working from home, you're supposed to be ideally taking a break every 90 minutes, getting up, stretching, which people don't do. Now, if this is built in your chair, then that's fabulous. You don't even have to get up.
It's just lovely. So once I've locked it in, see, I could sit forward and I can lean back. I'm not using my pressure to have that push back. So I'm really relaxing into it. And then, of course, when I'm feeling like I'm just all stretched and energized, I click this lever relief and it brings me right back up into my supported position. So it truly is a genius, I suppose, design team, engineer team, and they've really mastered it, which is why over 10 million units of these in over 20 countries of the world. And this is suitable for 12 hours a day of sitting. Up to 150 kilos of weight evenly distributed, we heard it from the expert. Having that split seat really does improve the distribution of your weight rather than you having to move around and get yourself comfortable. It is the patented design that will, Indira, well, in your opinion, could this help people's posture?
Definitely, because in ideal posture, your pelvis has to be in neutral. And if you're slouching and doing the wrong thing, what happens is there's an imbalance in your sacroiliac joints. And therefore, the dual seats will balance that out. And it's much, much better than having a single seat.